Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dave McRae here. Hey, folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. What is this, a Saturday AMA, unannounced, impromptu? It is. The reason why I decided to jump on here is because I've got some new equipment that I've purchased, and which, of course, is I would be remiss if I didn't thank you guys for that, because all the money that is raised through the channel goes right back into the channel. So upgraded the microphone, got a new mixer, all that kind of stuff. Always thinking about improving and making these shows and this channel much more interesting and visually interesting to watch, so to speak. So so that's what I'm always doing here on the channel in terms of the viewer experience. So I picked up the Shure SMB27, I think that's what it is. This microphone here, and of course a new mixer specifically for the shows and for McRae Live, two dudes and some bullshit and all that kind of stuff. And that's where, all the super chats that are being raised through all the shows, that goes right back into the channel. So I decided to jump on here because I have a little bit, not too much time today, but I have a little bit of time, and I wanted to jump on and see how you guys are doing, and just kind of test out the new equipment and the new mixer, which is great. I've got a couple of them actually, and this is the new one that I'll be doing mostly for the shows. When I do my professional voiceover work, obviously I switch gears, no pun intended, and a couple of switches, and then I move over to my other gear and my other equipment for that. But for YouTube and for the show and for this channel and things like that, I'm always trying to improve the quality. And like I said, I keep looking up there thinking that you guys are up there. No, you're right here. You're right here now. I forgot that I switched camera views. But I wanted to jump on and test the gear, but also say, again, thanks to you guys for continuing to send in those super chats and supporting the channel that way, because everything that comes in, I have a specific account for all that, and it goes right in there. So anytime I want to upgrade something for the channel or buy new software for the channel, or, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about doing this for the channel. It always goes right back. It's like this safety net right there. Boom, right there. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, how are you guys doing? Michael Pavone, am I saying that right? Pavone? Hey Dave, any snow yet? Yeah, we got a lot of snow. We have we got about 15 centimeters of snow here today, which is about 5.5 inches, I think, for you guys south of the border. So yeah, we did finally get snow. I know Canada has the stereotype that we get this kind of shit in September. No, we don't. We got it, but even for us, January 18th, that's a little late. We usually get it. We've had sprinkles of it throughout December, but we had a green Christmas. And then, of course, for the vast majority of January, it's been not bad. It was 10 degrees Celsius here not that long ago, which is really weird. Very warm for this time of year. But today's the day, ladies and gentlemen, that, today's the day that we got our snowfall. So, let's see, 69 people watching, 71 people watching. That's not bad for Saturday afternoon impromptu. Let me see here. Just some great stuff going on. And just having some fun checking out the new gear. I'll reiterate sort of what I said at the top of the stream in a few moments here. I'll let some more people get in here and chime in. Rick Moore says some snow here in Chicago too. Yeah, not surprising. We're both Great Lake cities, right? You know what I mean? And we're not that far, from each other. So if there's a sort of a system that moves in, well, then obviously that's we're probably gonna get it. Or I guess the weather usually goes what? It goes west to east, right? I don't think weather goes east to west, does it? How does weather usually go? I think if you get snow, we'll get it next or something like that. Anyway, what the fuck do I know? I'm not a meteorologist. Anyway, here we are. Zach Axiola says, Dave, Devontae's back. Are you going to block him? Already done. Tony Blanco says, I'm going to fight for your Halloween jacket. You're going to fight for my Halloween jacket, buddy. Just go to frightrags.com and see if they have any there. See if they have 81 people. That's not bad. That's not bad. Tabitha Short says 6 inches of snow here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Yeah, hey, we're not too far away from each other. We got about 15 centimeters, which is about, 5-6 inches of snow. So it's the same system. So, winter has finally arrived. Finally arrived, ladies and germs. David King says snow and rain mix here in Maryland. I don't know if I'd rather have that. I think I'd rather have, I don't know if I'd rather have that. I think I would rather have snow or rain. The mix can be pretty tricky. 86 people watching. Again, yes, for those of you that are just joining us, I don't have a lot of time today, but I thought I would jump on and test out the new equipment, which, as I said, is mostly thanks, well, it's thanks to you guys, because all the money raised through the channel goes right back into the channel. Got a new microphone, of course, and a new mixer for the shows, and just always thinking about making the viewing experience more interesting. And of course, in case you haven't noticed, for McRae Live, of course, now I have a 2-camera setup, and so I wanted to play with the new toys, so that's why I'm on here, and you guys are my guinea pigs for that. Brandon Gregory says, I love the snow. I'm ecstatic. It finally came. Yeah, I used to love the snow when I was younger. When I was in a kid in my teens and things like that, I didn't mind the snow. I liked the snow, because it was hockey season. You get out on the outdoor rinks, and then, of course, you'd play in the indoor rinks on your actual teams, and, and Christmas and stuff. But ever since I started to drive on a regular basis, it's like, the snow can be there for Christmas, kind of, it's a Christmassy kind of thing, and then I can just fuck off. I'm just so sick of it now. Let me see here. Let me scroll up, make sure I didn't miss anything. I did not. 96 people watching. That's pretty good for an impromptu Saturday AMA. The Shape 1978 says, Dave, where did you get your Nick Castle Halloween hat? I keep forgetting. Somebody in the chat room knows where I got it. I keep forgetting where that is. It's some independent guy. So it's like Etsy, but it's not. It's something like that. Somebody in the chat will probably be able to tell you. And then I got to make sure that I write this down, because I get asked about it a lot. Or maybe it's just you. Maybe you're the same guy that's been asking. I don't know. Sorry about that. But if somebody in the chat knows where that Nick Castle, when he's got the can of Dr. Pepper up to his thing, the hat that I sometimes wear. They make like Friday the 13th ones and all that kind of stuff. It's some guy, and he's really good. But I can't remember the name of the site now. It's not a Fright Rags or like a thing like that. It's this independent guy thing. 101 people. That's not bad. David Ferguson says, I'm heading for Norway next weekend. Plenty of snow there. I bet. The Manhammer AR-15 says, hot weather is cocky doo-doo. Hot weather is cocky doo-doo, ladies and gentlemen. Cocky doo-doo. Brandon Gregory says, that new Loomis figure is sexy as hell. Yes. I'm assuming you mean the one that is with... the one that's with Laurie Strode and Michael Halloween 2 by NECA. I'm assuming you mean that one. I haven't seen any other one. I have not seen any other one. 106 people watching. That's good. Awesome. Yeah, just, again, I won't be here for long, but I'm testing out the new gear that I picked up for the channel, and got a new mixer, new microphone, and just, you guys are my guinea pigs this afternoon, making sure everything sounds okay and looks okay and all that kind of jazz. Let's go back to camera camera 1 here, or camera 2, I should say, because this is really camera 1. Camera 2. Hey, camera 2. That's my voiceover booth back there, folks. That's a walk-in closet. That's where you go in there and then that way, and it opens up a little bit, and that's where I record all my stuff. It's a sound-treated walk-in closet. That little pumpkin down there came from a patron of mine, Jim Dorsey. Jim, if you're watching, pretty awesome pumpkin. It is an awesome pumpkin. Indeed, it is. I agree. Sucks Films says, or is it SUX Films? Sucks Films, SUX Films. Hey, Dave, new gear sounds great. Just wondering, would you recommend any good books regarding the Halloween series series apart from the novelizations on a bit of a binge at the moment. Keep up the great work. I don't know, to be honest with you, buddy. I have not read any of the novelizations of Halloween, and beyond that, I don't know what there is in terms of Halloween content, comics and books. I mean, I know when I was at the what's the name of it now? I'm totally drawing a blank. That's not good. When I was at the Yablans' house over back in November, when I was in Los Angeles for the Voice Arts Awards, Mickey Yablans gave me a comic, the first issue of a Halloween comic that he was working on a few years back. You guys probably remember it. I forget the name of it now. I think there was a series of them. There was a few of them. Really cool. Somebody in the chat room has to know what the hell I'm talking about. I can't see the title of it now. It's behind there. I really should bring it out. That's what I should do. But that's some cool stuff, but they're very rare and very difficult to get your hands on. I mean, if it wasn't for Mickey, giving one to me, I probably wouldn't have it. So, and apparently they go for like, a pretty penny. Apparently you can get them for like $100 or something, which is crazy. But beyond that, I don't know. Does anybody in the chat room know of any, beyond the novelizations, any sort of written material in terms of the Halloween franchise? Help a brother out. Let's see. Kenny525 says, I'm used to Dave looking at us when he talks. Yeah, you're right. And I'm not looking at you. Oh, there we are. Oh, there you are. How you guys doing? Dave McRae here. Yeah, just testing out all the stuff. Here, I'll go back to camera one. There we go. Back to camera one. Let's see. Night dance. Some people are saying. Interesting. Dave, I think they used your voice in the song Hot Girl Bummer. What makes you think they used my voice in the song Hot Girl Bummer? I've never even heard of this. Hot Girl Bummer. What exactly is Hot Girl Bummer? I have never heard of Hot Girl Bummer in my life. So who sings it? That's what I want to know. Who sings it? Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything here. I want to make sure I didn't miss. I thought I saw a super chat, but I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Okay. Just always like to make sure I get to those, especially, but I did not see one, which is good. That means I didn't miss it. Let me see here. Ryan Maloney says, listen to the song and you'll hear your voice. Okay, I'll hear my voice. Is it specifically my voice? Because if it is, then, it could be a lawsuit on my hands here. Or is it just somebody that sounds like me? 125 people watching. Okay, well, that's good. Not on long today, folks, like I said, but I'm on testing out the new gear, Imprmptu AMA. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I want to thank you guys for supporting the channel and sending in the super chats and all that kind of jazz, because everything that I make from this channel goes right back into the channel. And so I was able to pick up a new mic today and a new mixing board and all that kind of jazz. And we have some interesting, fun things coming to the show, because I'm not a big sound effect guy during a live show because they can get quite annoying, but I have the ability with this new board that I got to just add things in on the fly, which is going to be a lot of fun. You know what I mean? All that kind of jazz. So yeah, I'll be doing it with two dudes and I'll be doing it on McRae Live. And also what's great about this new board that I have, which I don't think I can do with my other one. I'm not sure. I don't think so, though. Maybe, but it's Bluetooth compatible, so I can actually have I can do phone interviews, which is great, and you can hear them on the show. So, because sometimes when you're trying to get guests, depending on the guest and depending on how comfortable they are on camera, sometimes if you have the option for them to come on via sort of a phone call, so you can hear me, the way you do now, and then I ask them a question, whoever it is, and then you hear them talking like you're listening to, a radio show or something like that. Sometimes having that option can really help. And then maybe in the future, in the not so distant future, we might, I can't promise anything, maybe set up a phone number and things like that maybe you guys can call into the show. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because you never know. But it's fun nonetheless. So there's I have a lot of different options here with this new guy. So so I wanted to come on and play with the new toys and just kind of test some things out. So do I sound okay? Everything sounds okay. The levels sound okay, I'm assuming. Everything looks good on my end, but I just want to make sure it sounds okay for you guys on your end. Let me scroll back. Make sure I didn't miss anything. 6:40 p.m., January 18th, 2020. It's hard to believe it's 2020, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Just because you guys are here. I know it's just water, but I have welcome to the shit show shot glass. I'm going to pour some water in there. We'll just pretend it's vodka. Okay? Cheers, you some bitches. That's it right there, folks. That's it right there. I love it. Let me see here. Spooky Guy says, yes, stuff sounds great. Awesome. Okay, you don't sound like Dave anymore. I don't sound like Dave anymore. What? Maybe if I go, what do you mean? He doesn't sound like Dave anymore. What's going on? There you go. There you go. Jordan Stevenson says, Dave, your thoughts on Ricky Gervais's opening monologue of the goal? I thought it was great. Yeah, I love... have you guys watched the Ricky Gervais show, Derek? Have you guys seen Derek? If you guys haven't seen Derek, that's a great show. Now, the first season, really it should have just been one season because the way the first season ended was fantastic. And it didn't need a second season, but it was such a surprise and it was so good that they decided to do a second season, and it's fine, but you kind of feel like it's really unnecessary. But the first season of Derek is fantastic. If you guys haven't checked out, it's a British show. I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix anymore, but check it out. And because it's a really good show. I really like it. Really like it a lot. Dalton B says, bro, your voice sounds so different. Not a bad thing, just strange at first. Oh, it's probably the compression is what it is. Because like I said, I'm doing everything through the mixer now, which is great. Like ideally, as a voice guy, as a voice actor, and there's nothing wrong with the mic I was using. I was using the Audio-Technica 2020 Plus USB mic, which is fantastic. As far as USB mic goes, it's amazing. But to have more creative control over what you put out, I wanted to utilize an XLR mic, which is what I have in my booth over here. It's an audio. I have an Audio-Technica 4050 in there, and hooked up to all sorts of gear and that kind of stuff. But in terms of the show and the live feed, I wanted to kind of do this, a similar thing. So I have more of a more creative control over what I put out in terms of the sound and the quality and things like that. And I'm not necessarily having to mix and master and process in post after the fact or something like that. It's just on the fly. So it's great. And this is an awesome mic. This is the same mic that, Joe Rogan uses, and it's legendary. It's been around for decades. When I was first getting into VO, I remember looking at this, but it's a dynamic mic and not a condenser microphone. And for voiceover, you really want to use a condenser microphone. But this is, I mean, it's been around for decades, and I finally was able to pick it up, but I used the money that is raised here through the channel from you guys. I was able to pick it up, and then that's my goal. So, and I wanted to show you guys all this so you guys know that, your super chats are indeed going to, to the channel. So, so that's always awesome. So, and like I said, I'll be able to do phone interviews and all sorts of funky stuff with the new gear that I picked up yesterday. So, let's see here. Bobby Hall says, Dave, when you make your films, do you record sound into the camera or use an external audio? No, I use a boom mic, and we record into a Zoom H4. Is it a Zoom? Forget what one I have, but it's a boom mic into the Zoom, and then we sync up the dialogue afterwards. Tony Tucker says, are you a fan of the Evil Dead franchise, Dave? Am I a fan of the Evil Dead franchise? I wouldn't say that I'm a fan of the Evil Dead franchise. I definitely like the first two Evil Dead. I think I gotta watch I have to watch Army of Darkness again at some point, because I think I like the first, and I mean, really, Evil Dead 2 is pretty much almost a remake of the first Evil Dead. Like, it was almost like they got a higher budget and said, okay, let's redo this kind of again. But not exactly, but kind of. I would say that I haven't watched them in a long time, so I'm definitely going to have to watch them again. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. No, not at all. Let me scroll back here. People saying sounds great, sounds good, sounds awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I want to jump on and use you guys as guinea pigs. So that's great. And 140 people watching Imprmptu. That's awesome stuff. That's great. Yeah, just testing out the new gear tonight, folks. Trying to see how it all. And of course, I want to be able to, maybe I should have it like this, because with the new microphone, it sits in a different position than the other mic did. Like the other mic, if you remember, kind of hangs down a bit. It was attached to a shock mount and, was able to hang down, and it kind of framed the Halloween poster behind me really nicely. Well, now with this mic, because it sits a bit different and you don't have an external shock mount. I mean, this really is the shock mount here, I guess, for all intents and purposes, even though it's not really one. It sits a bit differently. So I realize now that I can't really frame it the way I used to, but that there, I think that'll be all right. I think that's pretty good. The mic sort of looks like it's that baseball bat scene in Friday the 13th Part 3 when the guy's like this with the baseball bat, 3D. Dave's 3D now, folks. He's 3D. But yeah, no, I think that kind of framing kind of works. I think it looks all right. Super chat comes in from the 31st Slasher Productions. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. Right back into the channel. Hey, Dave, I know it's not much. Just wanted to show some love. Love what you do, man. Hey, that's okay. Anything. It doesn't matter if it's 10 pounds or 2 pounds or 1 pound or $1 or $10 or whatever the case is. Everything that's raised through the channel goes into my account that I have for the channel, and that makes this kind of stuff a reality, right? So don't worry about it, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Duke Fleed says, "Are you familiar with Italian horror films from the 70s and 80s? Deep Red, Suspiria." Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm an Italian horror film, cinephile, but I definitely, there are some that I like, and I haven't seen Deep Red. Suspiria, I haven't watched the original in a long time, and I've yet to see the remake of that. I don't know. Have you guys seen the remake of Suspiria? Is it good? Does it do the original justice? Let me know. I'd like to know, because I haven't seen it in a while. Let's see here. Darren Sands is in the house. He says, "Dave, please donate your mic to Tony. He really needs it." Oh, yeah. Actually, Tony's he actually has a really good mic, but what he does is he sits it sort of far away. So yeah, he should put it on his boom arm and have it more close to his face. I'm not sure why he doesn't do that, but I could always ask him why he doesn't do it. But he definitely has a good mic. But yeah, that's funny. Let's see here. Dominic Venturino says, "Dave, have you seen Demons from 1985? Demons. I don't know. Have I seen Demon 19? I don't know. Let me just Google this. Demons 1985. It's not the Ghoulies. I'm thinking of the Ghoulies in my head, but that's not what I'm thinking of here. Oh, Demons 1985. I don't think I have. It's an Italian film too. Lamberto Bay. Okay. No, I haven't seen that movie. Is it good? I'm always down for watching movies that are really good. And of course, Italian films can be really good. Italian horror is really, there's a lot of, I really loved the Orphanage. I thought that film was really good. Now it's subtitled, so obviously, you gotta be okay with subtitles, but I actually quite liked The Orphanage. I thought that was really, really good. And I also liked, what the heck was that one? Creep? Is that the one? Is that a French film or British? I thought it was the one about the subway. Again, when I say that I liked Creep, I don't think it's an amazing horror film. but I liked a lot of the mood and atmosphere. And of course, Switchblade Romance, High Tension is one of my favorite foreign horror films of all time. And The Descent, of course, is amazing. And but yeah, there's a lot of Italian Hammer films, especially that are like the Hammer films are. I've seen a few of them. But not as many as I probably should have. But there's definitely a few that I really like. Oh, super chat comes in from, let me see here, Bobby Reeves. Thank you, Bobby. Much appreciated. Dave, I need another Busta Rhymes trick or treat. Trick or treat. Well, hang on. Do you want, okay, I know what you want. I'll say it how he actually says it. And then I'll say the Dave McRae interpretation of it. Okay, here we go. Here's how he kind of says it. Trick or treat, motherfucker. And then there's the Dave McRae version. Trick or treat, motherfucker. That's the Dave McRae version. So fuck. Busta Rhymes. David Smith says, Dave, do you like that hot or cold weather? Oh, hot or cold weather better. Neither, I would say. I think if I had to choose, I'd probably take hot. But I don't know, because cold weather, like for sleeping, I would much rather cold, because you can always put more on. Of course, I have central air, so that really helps. But you can always put more on. Like, you can always put more blankets on you. I don't know why I said it like that. You can always put more, you can always put more blankets on you. You can put more sweaters and hoodies and that kind of stuff. You can always get warmer. You can't take your skin off. Like I often say that, you can't really take your skin off, so if it's really, hot and you're pretty much lying there in your underwear or naked and you're still hot, what the hell are you going to do, right? That's what I'd say. Tiffany Moses Shante says, Dave, have you seen The Entity from 1982? I have. I believe I have, but I haven't seen it in a long time, and I have to see it again. Somebody else, I think, was asking about that. I have to see it again. Edwin A. Sorto says, what's good, Dave? If you weren't a voice actor, what career would you choose? Well, I'm going to remove myself from the entertainment industry. Like, if I wasn't a voice actor, I definitely would want to, like, somebody asked me, if you weren't a voice actor, what would you do? And I said, like, if I had a choice, and this isn't a knock on voice acting because I love it. And obviously it's my, bread and butter. But I really love the filmmaking process. I was talking about this actually to my girlfriend the other day. I was saying, I don't know how we got onto that. Maybe it's just a thought I had, but voiceover, I find, like, unless you are a part of a series, which I have been, and maybe you're narrating a show, or maybe you're an animated character on a cartoon or something, but most of my bread and butter, most of my voiceover career has come, like my portfolio really is thick in the world of like trailers and commercials and promos and all that kind of stuff. And then I was able to dabble in like, narrating. I've narrated, a couple of shows. What's for Sale with a View I did, for Weddings Canada, Final 24. There was one other one I did. Can't remember it now. Risky Business, not the Tom Cruise thing from years and years ago. It was a lifestyle show that aired here in Canada for, I think, about one season or whatever. Anyway, so that's always fun because it's consistent sort of highs, and I love the process, and you're a part of something, and you really feel like you're a part of the production and all that kind of stuff. But the vast majority of my work has come in the world of trailers and promos and commercials, which is great stuff. I mean, that's nothing to, that's good shit. But the experience of that is sort of, it can be fleeting because you go in and say, like, I'm doing a trailer for, It, right? Which I did. I'm in there and I record it and everything's great. And it's like, wow, this is awesome. But then the experience is done, right? And then you get to see it and you're like, wow, that's awesome. That's great. And, I have a copy but the experience is done. Whereas making movies, it's such a process. So I find myself that if I had a choice, would I rather be making a living making movies or a living making doing voiceover? I mean, I might be greedy and say I want to do both. But if I could only choose one, I might choose the filmmaking because I love the process of making movies. I love, whether it's development, you go from development to pre-production to production to post-production to distribution. I mean, everything is a creative process on some level. And I just love all of it. It can be tedious. It can be daunting. It can be frustrating. You can butt heads, and obviously you don't want to do that too often, or you try not to, but I just love it. Like this whole process of doing It's Me, Billy. I love the process. You're on like this continuous creative high. You know what I mean? Of course, that can be probably frustrating if you're dealing with the Hollywood studio system and, you got executives breathing down your neck, but I think you know the point I'm trying to make, right? Whereas voiceover, you have this high, but it's like, it's very quick. It comes in and then it kind of goes out, where the filmmaking thing, because it's a process, it kind of lingers there for a long time. It's just like, but if I went off on a fucking tangent there, but if I wasn't doing voiceover and I wasn't in the entertainment industry, I think I would be a police officer. I think I'd make a good cop. I thought about it years and years ago when I left high school. I thought maybe I should become a cop. I think I'd make a good cop. So that's actually, I should have just said that instead of going off on my tangent. But I wouldn't be Dave McRae if I didn't go off on my tangents. Okay, here we go. Super chat comes in from JJ Abrams. Anyway, says, thank you, buddy. Says, Halloween, Rap Sheet, LL Cool J, and Busta versus Michael. That I would like to see that. That'd be cool. Super chat comes in from Philip Rose. I've seen it spelled a couple of different ways. That's why I'm kind of trying to pick one there. Dave, where do you get the awesome synth music for your video intros from? It sounds very Stranger Things inspired, and I love it. Well, I got mine was downloaded from I forget the name of the site now. They're royalty free. Like, you have to pay for them, but you can use them under a certain license in a certain way, but you have to pay for them. And all of them, right from the one you heard at the beginning of this stream to the one from McRae Live to Dudes and Two Dudes, that one. They're all from, I can't remember if it's Audio Jungle or Pond 5 or maybe they're on both. I'm not sure. And they'll probably run you about maybe $25-$30, something like that. That's where I got them. Let me see. Super chat comes in from BMT115, says, Dave, would you rather be absorbed by the blob or be assimilated by the thing? I love this. I would say well, I don't know. We don't talk about the blob a lot on this channel. So I'm going to say maybe the blob. I take the thing. Hey, let's go back to camera 2. Why not? Let's go back to camera 2. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Camera 2. Hey, 160 people watching. Well, that'll be a good time to restate why I'm doing this live stream. Again, I won't be on for too long today. I mean, too long for me is like an hour. But I decided to jump on because I purchased some new gear for the show and for the channel. And of course, wanted you guys to know that the new microphone and the new mixer and everything is because of your contribution and your support to the channel. So all the super chats raised and everything that I get from the channel, even because my channel obviously is monetized, even all that as well goes into an account, and I take that and upgrade where I see fit and what I believe will make the viewing experience that much more interesting and fun to watch. It's the same when how Tony and I began on Google Hangout, and now we've moved to Wirecast, and obviously it looks, a bit different and more visually interesting and sort of satisfying to watch. So so I just want to let you guys know that and come on and tinker around with the new equipment and see how I sound, because right here, this is you guys supporting the channel. So that's awesome stuff. Super chat. Oh, was that a super chat? I answered that one. I did answer that one. That was, you hear that little dingy dingy over there? That was, I think that was my tablet, actually. Let me see. Robert Thidoff says, Dave, have you seen Parasite? Not yet. Not yet, Robert. I have not seen Parasite yet. Queen Peoples. Always talking to David Smith. Robert Kitzmiller says, the Blob-a-Lot. Hey, I like that. The Blob-a-Lot. This fall, the Blob-a-Lot. All right. Oh, I'm such a gear nerd. You get a new microphone and you just have some fun with it. Kyle Ryle says, Dave, you watch you? You watch me? I'm watching me. You watch you? Are you watching you? Well, hey, look, if you're watching you, I'll watch you. But if you want to watch you, you go watch you, and then she'll watch you, and we'll all watch you, okay? Let me see here. The Film Addict says, hey, Dave, where would you take the story of Joker in a sequel? I'm curious how you would do a sequel without the Batman. That's a loaded question. Well, I think I would first look at where the current story ended and look at sort of now. I would jump probably maybe a year into the future, and that Gotham, there's been an uprising. And it's sort of like, do you remember, this is a weird comparison, but hopefully you'll get what I'm saying. The first Police Academy movie, right? The very first Police Academy film. I know it's a weird comparison, but you know how like in that movie, gangs ran the streets and everything, and cops weren't respected and blah, 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 right? Of course, it's a comedy. Shot here in Toronto, by the way. Most of the Police Academy movies were shot here. But that's sort of the premise, right? Is that sort of like it's not a good place right now. Vigilante justice sort of is happening, and the Joker runs the city essentially. He does and he does. I mean the politicians are there, the mayor is there, all that kind of stuff, but he is the guy. And we see the evolution of that character. And what's interesting is I forget who it was that said this, but somebody said that they didn't believe that this Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, and maybe they're right, is smart enough to go up against Batman, or is smart enough to be the Joker that we know. I think that's true to a point, but I also think that in his journey of self-discovery, he realizes, I'm talking about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, he realizes that he possesses a certain level of understanding about society and himself that he didn't possess before. He gains a certain level of confidence by his journey through Todd Phillips' Joker. And I think by the end of that movie, it's clear that if you believe that it wasn't all in his head and that these sequence of events were actually happening, that I think this is somebody that may always have a few people looking out for him, as usually people do. But I think he's wiser and smarter than what we thought he was, or even what he thought he was. I'm not saying he's, Heath Ledger's Joker, but I think there is a certain level of understanding there and a certain level of confidence that he would have gained from that film. So I think I would probably start there. You start sort of, it's a year later, shit has hit the fan. There's a lot of crazy shit going down, and sort of he's the big baddie of the town, and to see sort of but he's still that Joker. You can't lose the essence. He can't become the Heath Ledger Joker. He still has to be the Joaquin Joker. There still has to be a certain level of vulnerability to him, and a certain level of naivety, if I could say that, in terms of who he is. But he's stronger, and kind of see where that goes, and how he, and maybe I'd be down for it. I would totally be okay with him actually being the half brother or brother of Bruce Wayne. I know they sort of went away from that and didn't want to do that, but I'd be okay with that, because this isn't part of the DCEU. It's a separate thing altogether, apparently. And so far, that does seem to be the case. I was skeptical. I thought maybe they were going to, but apparently they're not. Okay, cool. All right, fine. But I'm telling you right now, I would be okay with that. I think there's a lot of potential of what that could mean moving forward. But that's where I would begin anyway. I mean, it's so deep and so layered to give you sort of an in-depth answer here without taking up too much time. But let's just say that would be sort of my starting point, if that makes any sense. Let me see here. 146 people still watching. Awesome stuff. Let me see here. Zach Axiola says, Dave, I need your help. I'm being threatened by Queen Peoples. He's found out where I live and what school I go to. I'm being terrorized. Queen Peoples. I don't know who Queen Peoples is. I've never seen Queen Peoples in here, but it will not take long to figure out if Queen Peoples is in fact Devontae Huntley. it will not take long. And if it turns out to be Devontae Huntley, well, we know what will happen. Sometimes, you see, it's very easy. I mean, you can change the names all you want. And if you want to behave, that's fine. That's cool. You behave. But 9 times out of 10, what ends up happening is that they show their true colors because they can change the name of the profile and log in under a different account, but the cadence, and the way they speak remains the same. So it becomes very apparent, very obvious when, you have somebody come into the chat room who's under a different name you've never seen before, but is still yelling and screaming and calling people fucking, assholes and idiots. Let me see. Oh, okay. Queen Peoples is... yes, okay. All right. Yeah, there you go, folks. Thank you, Darren. Thank you. I saw that. See, okay. And there we go. Blocked. Good to see the person. Because sometimes with the chat room going by so quick, it's hard to see the details of what is going on. So if somebody pipes up like Darren did and said, hey, can you block this guy? That makes me go back and take a second look of what's happening there. And I just saw one sentence and I thought, oh yeah, that's probably him. Devontae Huntley is a serial troll and somebody who I don't know at all, but somebody who apparently makes their rounds on other people's sites, a very sad little individual who, probably doesn't have much going on in their own lives and therefore likes to sit down and seek attention this way. And unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow you to block via IP address, which I completely understand. I mean, that's a whole other can of worms there that's probably not very good. But of course, when you block somebody, they can just create another account and away you go. So I do count on you guys as well. When you see something going on there, it's like, wait a minute, that's a little kind of strange. Block this person and yada, 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 which I did. I mean, Devontae was in the room at the beginning of the stream as well, and he was blocked, and he probably has about 9 million accounts that he likes to log into. He loves the attention. Yeah, that's a very sad little man indeed. Let me see. Robert Ford says, yes, we don't need idiots on here. Oh, yeah, no, that person, whoever that was, has been blocked. 100%. Let me see. Michael Myers, Dave, did you get a new camera? No, I didn't get a new camera, but I have a new lighting setup, a new microphone, and a new mixing board, all specifically for YouTube. When it comes to my voiceover side, I already have that taken care of. But when it comes to YouTube, I keep wanting to improve my the viewing experience and the sound and all that kind of stuff for you guys. So I'm on here tinkering around with the new toys because I wanted to get used to some new things before I do my live show next week. And of course, 2 dudes on Monday night. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. Super chat comes in from William Goldschmidt. He says, hey Dave, as a voice actor, what's the most amount of voices you have had to provide in an animated feature or any other project? Is there a limit? Well, I haven't done an animated feature. I've done just television. But in one sitting, I'd probably say, well, I would probably say that you can watch probably Fireman Sam, which is a British cartoon. But when they brought it over to North America, they were looking for, listen, I'm always happy to have a job, but I think they should have just kept the Welsh accents. I think they were Welsh. But they didn't. They wanted to recast American sounding voices. So they hired Canadians. No, but yeah, they did. So that I played Gareth Griffith and Chief Officer Boyce in the North American version of Fireman Sam from season 8 on, I think. They had somebody else before that, but unfortunately he passed away. And that was really sad. And then the casting director reached out to me and said, we've had him from what you want. And I was like, yeah, of course, I'll step in. So I did that. So there was a few, but there were other voices I did on that show as well. But I would say the most I've ever done is a cartoon that never came to be. And there's a product called Worry Eaters. It's an actual sort of stuffed animal kind of thing. And it's perfect for like ages 2 to 8 or whatever. And the premise of it is that they're all sorts of funky looking characters. And the premise is that, or the idea of these stuffed animals, I guess, is that they have a zipper on their mouth or on their belly or something, and the idea is that it's their therapeutic. So if your child has trouble telling you what's on their mind, they can write it down, fold it in a piece of paper, and put it inside their worry eater and zip it up, and you as a parent can go in and open it and look at it or whatever. Right? It was cute beyond belief. I believe it was a German invention in terms of the stuffed animal. So anyway, they were going to be doing a cartoon, and I auditioned for it with one of my favorite casting directors of all time, Susan Hart, who works here in Toronto, and she's been nominated for Emmys, and my God, she's just great. So anyways, I auditioned and got the role as a few of the leads, and we did the first season. But unfortunately, there was behind the scenes stuff that that doesn't have anything to do with the acting or the VO or her or anything like that. I think it was more of an issue between the producers and things like that. I'm not sure of the details, but unfortunately, they axed it. And we had already shot the first season, and they were hoping to sell it to Nickelodeon as well. Nickelodeon Kids, I think. There's a kids version, right? And that was really cool. That was the most fun I'd ever had doing animation, because I was doing like 7 or 8 different characters. 2 or 3 of them were leads, and I just had a ball. And like I said, we did the first season. The first season was like, how many episodes of the first season? I want to say 15. Anyway, they were all in the bag, ready to go. And they had all of the stories for the remainder of the series written. So we had like 6 or 7 seasons. There was something like 80 or 90 episodes, but unfortunately it didn't pan out. I was really disappointed. I was like, I was so disappointed about that. So that was, but that probably would have been, even though it never aired, and who knows, maybe it will. I mean, it's been a couple of years now, but you never know, right? Maybe I'll get a call from Suze and be like, hey, it's been 4 or 5 years, but we're back on. I mean, who knows? Those probably not now, but you never know what's going to happen. But that was probably the most I had done. Yeah, that was a blast. I mean, I just had a ball doing that. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it does suck. It does, because when you now I did get paid for it, of course. I mean, I was paid for all my work, but it sucks because of the potential of it. I remember talking to Susan saying, this is brilliant. I mean, this is a really good idea, because you can totally, like, I can totally see this catching on, especially for the ages of like 2 to like 7 or something, like the animation was cool and the idea was neat and the characters were really cool. And yeah, too bad. But hey, that's the nature of the business, man. Nature of the bee. All right, we'll go for a few more minutes here. Then I got to skedaddle because I do have some things I have to do. Did I miss another super chat? No. Oh, and then he says, is there a limit? No, I wouldn't say there's a limit, but naturally, when you are doing animation, to save money, of course, if you can do a few different voices, that obviously will help, because you're not paid per voice, you're paid per session. So, now, I mean, that depends. I mean, that's not set in stone. There are variables at play, but generally speaking, if you are somebody that can do a couple of different voices, obviously they will hire you to do that. And that's great. I mean, that's, as an actor who wants to dive into all that we really enjoy that process, so, but I wouldn't say there's a limit, but I would say there probably is a limit. Well, it depends. I mean, it depends if you're union or non-union. It depends on, there's many different factors at play. But yes, in short, yes, there could be a limit, yes, but it depends on the project. Depends if it's union or not. I mean, you can only work a certain amount of hours a day and all that kind of jazz. So, but that would be the most I've done. And unfortunately, you never get to see it. So that kind of sucks. Super chat comes in from Michael Myers is here. Ever visited London? Would you ever? London, Ontario? Yeah, I've been there quite a few times. Oh, you mean London, England. I haven't. And for those of you that may not know, of course, by looking at me, it might be painfully obvious. I'm half British. So my mother was born in England. She came to Canada in 1956 when she was 12. She lived in Chelmsford. Chelmsford? Am I saying that right? Chelmsford, I believe, was the town. Maybe it's a city now. I don't know. Where they grew up. So she came over on the boat. Like literally, they took a boat across the Atlantic Ocean in 1956 and arrived in Cornwall, Ontario, I think, and then the rest is history. So I am literally half British, but I've not been over there. I'm dying to go, but I've yet to go over there. All right, let me see here. Oliver Mercer says, "Hey Dave, you like the alien horror film Species? I like the first three, but the fourth, I do. Yeah. Oh, I mean, the first two are just classic. The third one's, it's tolerable. The fourth, but the first two, I mean, Alien and Aliens is just amazing. So it's awesome." Let's see here. He says, "You're not half British. That's a nationality, not a race." Oh my goodness. When your mother is born in England, right? I'm half British in the sense of that I have British heritage, right? Obviously, okay, I don't need to. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a nationality, not a race. Yes, I'm talking about the come on. You know what I'm talking about. Johnny T says, "Have you seen the Cool Edits version of..." I have not. No, I've not seen that yet, but I've heard good things about it. I've heard really good things about it. So I definitely will be checking that out. For sure. Let me see here. David Smith says, "Everyone ignore coordinating." Yeah. Please. Oh, is that it? Why is that another? It might. Oh, that might be. Well, we'll find out soon enough whether it is Devontae Hunley back as Corduroy Nicholas. Yes, Corduroy Nicholas. But yes, I am half British. When you go back to my heritage. But yes, in terms of nationality, no, I'm not. I am white. Yes, I am white. Yes, there we go. Yes, I see. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Jeff Goldblum, folks. Jeff Goldblum. There you go. He's been blocked again. Devontae Huntley goes down for the count. Super chat comes in. "Dave, what's your guiltiest pleasure bad flick?" That's a good question. I don't know, man. I don't know what a guilty pleasure bad flick would be. I would definitely say that, I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't like a lot of bad movies. I'm not entirely sure. Let me see here. Michael Myers, for a Londoner, please do a British accent. Oh, I can't do accents, to be fair, I'm actually, to do an authentic accent is not my forte. Like if somebody was to, that's sort of a weak, like, I mean, authentic one. Like if somebody said, "Okay, we need you to literally sound French." Like, so it's just, you have to sound French. Not my forte. Now I can do caricatures of different accents, and sometimes they're accents with no sort of real kind of, place in the world. They're just, and maybe it sounds like something, but not really, whatever. Whenever I do a caricature of a British accent, and of course there's many different British accents, right? I mean, there's different regions with different, I mean, it's like going to New York and you got a Bronx accent and a Brooklyn accent and a Long Island accent, and that's like that over there as well. So, but for me, whenever, and I think Darren Sands, and there's quite a few British people who watch me, so Darren probably knows where I'm going with this. I tend to always, when I do, like if I do Dr. Loomis, or if I just do I tend to always lean into something like this. It's all, I always go like drunk, like I'm completely inebriated. It's the way it's the fucking, I don't give a shit what you're talking about. It's the bloody hell and I always go that way because I love the caricature of that kind of guy. But if I had to actually walk into a room and convince somebody I was British, that's probably something I couldn't do. I'd probably have to actually learn the subtleties and nuances of that, much in the same ways that somebody who's British would be hired or asked to do a North American accent, right? I mean, it would, it can be pretty tricky sometimes. So, Let's see here. Drunk Loomis. Drunk fucking. Oh, Stuart Johnson, would you recommend visiting Toronto, Dave? Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, if you've never been to Toronto, come to Toronto. Fourth largest city in North America, largest city in Canada. It's the epicenter of this country. Hustle and bustle and skyscrapers and events, especially in the summer. Come in the summer because not only is it nicer weather, there's more going on, obviously, right? You know what I mean? There's more events and festivals and all sorts of stuff going on. So, I mean, come in the summer, come in like July, or August or whatever. Come when the weather's nice. And anytime between May and October, or you can come in the fall too. I mean, if you come in like October, November, that's a great time of year to come as well. So you can always come at that time of year too. Great stuff. Let me see here. Dude says, very hard, Brandon, to accomplish. He's talking to Brandon. Let me see. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I don't think I did. Dave, what's your guiltiest pleasure bad flick? I couldn't think of one, Nick, but great question. Michael Myers says, for a Londoner, please do a British accent. I can't. I always have to go like this, you fucking asshole. I don't know what. That's probably, as a Londoner, you're probably listening to that going, what the fuck was that? Jake V says, at Dave McRae, did you get a new mic and new lights? Sounds and looks crisp. By the way, what's your favorite beer? As a fellow Michigander, I love Labatt. Thanks for the great Canadian beer. You're very welcome. I did get new lights, the other day. About 2 weeks ago, maybe. And then, of course, I did get a new microphone and a new mixer, all for the channel here. So, yes, like I said at the beginning of the stream, the super chats and all the money that is raised, let me try that again. All the money that's raised, all the money that's raised through the channel, whether it's through Patreon or through the super chats or whatever the case is, it goes right back into the channel, and it helps schedule these events. It helps purchase new equipment and software and all that kind of jazz. So that's what I did. So I went into my account for the channel, and I went and purchased a new microphone and a new mixer and lights and all that kind of jazz, because I wanted to continue to make the experience that much more fun for you. So and just trying to continue to improve the experience. And the best thing that I think I love about this new mixer, I have one for my VO booth, but it doesn't do this because it's a bit older. It has Bluetooth compatibility. So I'll be able to actually bring in phone calls for interviews. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, for those of you that tuned in a bit late, I'll also be able to maybe in the near future set up a phone number and you guys can call in. I'm just saying. That's one of the things that sold me on this new mixer. Let me see. Okay, we'll go for just a few more minutes, and then I got to skedaddle. Jason Knight says, Dave, I watched your movie Halloween Red Harvest. I really enjoyed it. Great job on using the OG Carpenter score. The lighting was really good. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. Yeah, those are those old ones, those old Halloween fan films on my channel. I can't believe it's great that people still watch them, but they're so old now, and they were just those were experimental pieces. I was that was at a time when, like, now the fan film game is like, you know what I mean? Now they're like they're professional productions. But, 10 years ago or so, I mean, they were just still kind of, and I took it upon myself with a bunch of them to try and sort of do some stuff to show people what you can do with literally things at your disposal and just your available lighting. You know what I mean? So that a lot of what you see there in those old ones of mine are just available light. Depends on, the exposure of the camera and the lens you're using and, all that kind of jazz, the ISO and stuff and what you do in post. And those were a lot of fun to do. Yeah, for sure. But the fan film world has, it's insane now, especially thanks to Never Hike Alone. So with It's Me, Billy, I don't feel like I'm in development and pre-production on a fan film. I feel like I'm in totally because of how we're approaching it. Like It's Me, Billy will be like legit. You know what I mean? So it's more intense, but it's more fun. But I'm glad you liked it. And I'm glad that people are still watching those old things. Yeah, they're just so much fun. Jethro Gibb says, had the Thorn storyline played out more logically, would you have gotten on board with it, or was it always a hell no? Well, I'm always open to execute. I mean, you know, I understand that it can be about execution. I'm always open to being convinced, but I think because of how I view the character of Michael and what his original intent was, I think the probability is still low that I would have been on board, even if it would have been maybe a better movie or more organic I just think just showing that explaining too much in and of itself, no matter what it is, I think maybe does Michael in the long run a disservice. It might be cool in the short term, but then you inevitably find yourself up against a wall and kind of like, what the fuck do we do now? You know, and you would find yourself in that sort of position the other way as well. You know, I mean, and so, you know, it's sort of a catch-22. I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. All right, folks, that is going... I didn't miss any other super chats. I don't think I did. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. I got to skedaddle here. I got some things I got to do, but I really appreciate you tuning in for this impromptu live AMA. I said at the beginning of the stream that I wasn't going to be on long tonight because I had some things I had to do, but I had to jump online and just test out the new gear and say thank you to you guys as well. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're able to support the channel financially or not. You support it by watching. I mean, that is really important, but definitely thank you to each and every one of you who support the channel through super chats, through Patreon, through just tuning in. I really appreciate it. I think you guys are awesome. You're making all this more possible and making it more fun, you know, and I'm having a ball doing this. I think this is a lot of fun to be able to connect with you guys and build like this little community here, which is just great. So I really do appreciate it. Now, I'm going to be back Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, episode 53, I think it is, of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Tony and I are going to be watching It Follows. That's the movie that won. I put up It Follows or Stir of Echoes, and It Follows just annihilated Stir of Echoes. I love Stir of Echoes. I was kind of hoping for that. But no, it's It Follows, man. It's It Follows. So we'll be watching that Monday night on Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. And then, of course, I will be back Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time for McRae Live. Yeah, I was thinking, what the hell am I doing Tuesday? McRae Live. That's what I'm gonna be doing on Tuesday. So yeah, folks, I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for being my guinea pigs here while I test out the new gear. Really appreciate it. And thank you for your questions. And I will talk to you guys soon. Alrighty. Cheers.